Sue Rallings, welcome here with me this afternoon, and thank you very much for agreeing to participate in this little showcase video. You've just completed the Scenic Entrepreneurial Hub program, and I'm very interested to hear today, what's happening in your business and what your business is all about. So maybe to start off with, let me quickly ask you to tell me a little bit more about your business, please.
I guess the easiest way of describing what we do at Making Good Alliance is to talk about our ambition for climate resilience. So you know how it's easy to become overwhelmed by climate change. It's easy to lose hope. We see extreme weather events more often. We're seeing people lose their homes, their lives and their incomes. And of course, we're seeing devastating damage to the environment with irreplaceable loss of biodiversity and habitat. So often we hear that sustainability is the answer, but we believe sustainability isn't enough. And clearly we haven't seen any significant improvements. So we think we need to do things better than before. And this is called regeneration. What we do at Making Good Alliance is inspire hope for the future. We don't want people to be feeling overwhelmed. We do that through collaboration, education and innovation. And we work towards helping people build a better future, building a climate resilient future and a climate resilient community. In fact, in the past 2 years, we've collaborated on numerous events, festivals, conversations, workshops, demonstrations, all sorts of things to empower others to take regenerative action. Even the smallest steps have made people feel better. So I guess what we say to people, if you want to create a better future, you want to be empowered, and you want to take some climate action without the overwhelm, come join us. Join us through our website, join us on our socials, or come to our office at Tamborine Mountain. We'd love to talk to you. So that sort of gives you, a really good insight, I guess, into what we do at Making Good Alliance.
Sue, that sounds very inspirational too, and as well as aspirational. So what's your vision moving forward then?
Our vision is to create a place that's known for empowering climate action, a place where people feel comfortable to gather. We have an old SeqWeb site that we purchased at Tamborine Mountain, and we're creating a living lab, or what we're calling a living lab, on that site. So it's a place where people can come and see and do and observe things that might help them build some resilience. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We want it to be fun and engaging, and we're really interested in showing people the ways that they can engage. So we do demonstrations, we showcase different climate initiatives, and I guess we promote ecological resilience through learning, through observing, through innovation, through research. And we also do a whole range of advocacy and action projects that people can get involved in. Visitors who come to the site get the opportunity to interact with the researchers or the innovators or the educators or the artists who tell the stories. So, it's all encompassing. And I think the other thing that people find really inspiring is actually seeing sort of circular economy infrastructure. So things that are doing good for our community rather than doing harm. And it gives you, I think, an opportunity to see things happening, but also see things that have taken place and decide if that's something that's of interest for you. We apply regenerative design in a real life setting. So it's an opportunity whether you're, 3 years old or 300 years old to come along on the journey with us. And we find, children love to come and see the birds, the bees, the butterflies, see the plantings, and everybody's engaged in a different way. So that's the big vision, Retha.
It's a really unique business, and I think in your journey so far would have been a lot of key elements that actually brought you to this particular point in time. So what would be top 3 key elements for starting a business or a venture like this that you can tell other entrepreneurs that would be useful for them as well?
Look, I think the 3 key elements for us, and certainly for me, has been to have a real clear purpose. So know what you're trying to achieve and why you're trying to achieve it. Because on those days when it's pretty tough to get out of bed and you think, I can't take another no, you need to be really passionate about what you're doing, because that's the thing that'll keep driving you. So I'd say purpose is the first thing. The second thing is probably having a business plan. I think so often people start out and they've got a vision or they've got a reason for setting up their business, but they don't know how to perhaps measure their success. And so therefore having a business plan, I think, is really a way of being able to set your goals, put some time frames on them, and then work towards them. And it is the ultimate measure. I mean, for our business, we're a social enterprise. So our motivating driver is not financial. For some businesses, it is primarily financial. For us, we're looking about the social impact that we make, the connections that we make with our community, and how we support those. So the measurements or the metrics that we use to measure our success are quite different. But I think having a clear plan about what we want to achieve and how we want to achieve it helps us when, you go off track or you get distracted by some other new shiny thing, and you need to come back to, why am I doing this and what's happening, and am I actually on track? And the business plan for us is, that document, that driving piece that helps us stay on track. And I think the third thing that's probably most important is really to surround yourself with people who'll support you and encourage you. You don't want people who just say, yes, what you're doing is fabulous. You want them to challenge you. You want them to perhaps grill you sometimes about your assumptions, provide some feedback, but also know that they're doing it because they care. I mean, it's really easy to get knocked down and have people around you who say that can never be done. And certainly we've had our fair share of those. But I think having people who are in business, who are skilled and experienced, who maybe question some of the things you do is really important. So I'd say, the first one is a clear purpose. Second one is make sure you've got your business plan so you can track your progress, measure your results, and then surround yourself with people who will keep you honest.
So you've just completed the Scenic Entrepreneurial Hub program. What would you say was the value of the hub to you personally, but also for your business?
I think the Scenic Entrepreneurial Hub was useful in so many ways. I think personally, what I've done is I've met some extraordinary business leaders across the Scenic Rim, people that I wouldn't necessarily have met without doing the program. They've come from all sorts of backgrounds, all sorts of interests, and all sorts of skill levels. And that has been really insightful, talking to them and sharing ideas, learning from each other. But I think most importantly is building those connections. We've become, I guess, real supporters. So, we help each other when things aren't going so well, but we also celebrate the wins. So I think it was just a lovely dynamic and a great group of people. So again, they challenged me and I challenged them, and we shared experiences and we shared opportunities, and we worked together to advocate for each other. And I think that was a real benefit for me personally. I think from a business perspective, I think the program reminded me of the value of stepping out of your business and creating some time to be working on your business. And I think having that commitment of meeting with everyone every week, having to do your homework and make sure that you were on track was really powerful. I think the opportunity to focus on your business and not get caught up in the busyness that we all have as, small business owners. We're trying to do everything, but to actually step back and do that. And sharing, I think, those learnings with other business people was really helpful. So I think their expertise, their experiences, the ability to offer honest advice and act like what I would call a strategic advisory board. It was really powerful. I think the thing that I find most challenging being in small business is that you're often on your own. You don't have others that you can turn to and talk to who understand. And I think during the program, I've made these friends now that I can pick up the phone and ask them about whatever it might be. And that's something that will go on, for a long time. So I think that's been, the real plus for the business, is having them advocate for me advocate for them, but also learning about other extraordinary businesses that are here in the Scenic Rim. So, I really encourage others to, if they have the opportunity, to take it up.
What about your biggest overall lesson that you've learned so far in your journey? And I'm sure there would be many of those, but what's the biggest one that you can think of and that you also want to share with other entrepreneurs?
Retha, you're right. There are so many lessons. I think one of the things that was probably most important is stop trying to do it all myself. I think Tara, who led our program, was extraordinary in sharing lots of different frameworks and lots of technological solutions that I may or may not have been exposed to without the program. And also encouraging us to really think about where our strengths are and where do we spend a lot of time, but we may not add as much value as we could. So looking at outsourcing, looking at finding other ways of being able to do things rather than trying to do everything yourself. And I think, that's one of the big traps of small business. When you're financially constrained and time constrained, you try and do more and more. Well, that's, I think a immediate path to burnout. So, if you're looking to build a long-term sustainable business that you will enjoy into the future, then you really have to get your systems right. You have to make sure that you've got the right people around you, and look at ways that you can streamline what you're doing. And I think focusing on those pieces that are about building a business, not creating a hobby and trying to earn an income from it, but actually creating a business where you're building the structure and the systems, is probably the greatest learning that I've had out of the program. And it was a big reminder that there's lots of people that can do other stuff better than I can. So, I think that that was probably the greatest lesson for me.
So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to see how your business goes from strength to strength into the future as well. And thank you for sharing some of the lessons with us today.
It's been a pleasure, Retha. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.